Hey there guys, I just wanted to introduce today's video by saying that our discussion is going to be as much about mental health today as it is about that physical motivation to get in the gym and be fit and exercise that we, want to have and want to keep doing. And I want to give you some background information about where I got the idea for this video and what's been going on in my life to kind of give you some backdrop. So I had taken several rest days, pretty much a week and a half without going to the gym. And that's normal for me. I do that from time to time when I have a lot going on in my life or, family visiting. And for the record, I think it's really healthy. I think that you should be able to prioritize other things above your workout sometimes. And I know there are a lot of people on Instagram that live by the mantra, just do it and fit it in, no excuses. But that's not really my style and maybe a topic for another video. But anyway, so I hadn't been to the gym in a little over a week, maybe almost 2 weeks, and I wasn't worried about it. I figured, I had some stuff going on and I'll get back in the gym when that's over. So the stuff passes and I still don't really feel like going to the gym even though I don't have any reason not to. And that was a new feeling for me because, every couple weeks if I haven't exercised, I'll kind of get that itch, that bug to do some Pilates or go for a run, nothing crazy, but just to get moving because I do enjoy the exercise that I do, which I think is really important for everyone who's exercising to have fun doing it. But, long story short, just didn't have any motivation to go to the gym or to really do any formal exercise. And I wasn't worried about it at first. I figured, exercise intuitively and go with your body, and eventually I'll want to, and then I will. But, some more time passed, and I really just didn't feel motivated. And anytime I thought about going to the gym or, realized when I could fit it into my schedule, I was met with this kind of overwhelming anxiety and frustration before even going. Just the thought of going to the gym was giving me anxiety, which is something I'm not used to because I've been in recovery for a long time now, and, those feelings are have not come up for a while. So, I started to think about it because I think it's really important to do internal reflection and to take stock of your feelings and come to terms with them in order to understand where you're at emotionally and to feel good. So what I realized is that this lack of motivation to go exercise or go to the gym was actually coinciding with a lack of motivation I was feeling for school, a lack of just excitement about other things in my life that I usually am really happy about. And all of that kind of compounded together was part of a deeper problem, which is that I've been struggling with a little bit of depression and a major life change. So I haven't really opened up about my breakup to you guys, but I was in a long-term relationship, and I'm not anymore. It was a healthy decision, and I'm not going to get into details for, the privacy of him and I both. But, going through a life change like that, I know a lot of you have messaged me recently about my breakup and telling me about yours and asking for advice. It's really rough. Even the strongest people, when it comes to their heart, it really knocks you down, regardless of who broke up with who and what the situation was. It's a really emotionally duress to go through. So even though I've been very happy on Instagram and I have been, at school and interacting with you guys, which I love, in my heart and in, my mentality, that's still there. So I've been struggling with that and having some mood swings, and my emotional state has just been not myself recently. And when I realized that when it came to the gym, my mental health was protecting my body and myself from something that my consciousness couldn't see yet. And what I mean by that is that going to the gym was popping up as a trigger for me. It brought me back to my days of anorexia and orthorexia, where the only thing I could control in my environment was my intake and my exercise habits, which I think a lot of you can relate to. And what happens with those of us in the eating disorder community is when something in our life feels out of control, for example, going through a breakup, losing a loved one, losing our job, anything that is emotionally difficult or stressful, we suddenly have the urge to take control of our exercise or eating habits. So for me, instead of wanting to go to the gym and run 6 miles and burn calories in order to cope, I was staying away because I knew deep down that if I did that, I would be coping in an unhealthy way and returning to triggering behavior. And it took me a while to come to this conclusion. I was just feeling really bad about it for a while. And then I realized that this was my body and my mentality's way of protecting me from doing that. So I was okay with skipping the gym. And once I kind of realized that, I feel okay about not going and not exercising if I don't feel up to it. If you don't feel up to it, you don't have to exercise. Unless your doctor has you on a specific exercise plan for your own health reasons, and that's not what I'm talking about here, you don't have to burn X amount of calories. You don't have to exercise X amount of times a week to be considered healthy. You need to take care of you and listen to your feelings. Which brings me to my next point, which is about really checking in with yourself. So ask yourself, is this lack of motivation I feel to exercise, to go to the gym, is that really all it is, or is that stemming from something else going on in my life? For me, I am now certain that it is. It has to do with the really difficult emotions I've been feeling and my way of coping. That I don't want to return to a place that was stressful for me, that I used to use to control my emotions, that I used to run in order to not feel what I was feeling. So I think it's really important to do that internal reflection. And I know it feels like you should feel guilty if you're not exercising. For those of us who have struggled with eating disorders, that is a really difficult concept to overcome. But I'm here to tell you that you absolutely have nothing to be ashamed of. If you don't feel like exercising right now, you don't have to. I think it would be much more beneficial to you to figure out what the deeper issue is going on, if there is one, and deal with that head on. In terms of heartbreak and losing a job, external stressors, you can't control what happens to you, but what you can do is focus on how you're dealing with it. Find healthy ways to cope. Spend time with a friend. Do things you enjoy. Take a bubble bath. Get some new music. Go for a drive. Anything that makes you feel good about yourself that you're creating and investing time in to support your emotional health, that's a good idea. And it doesn't always have to be exercise. If exercise makes you feel better, go for it. But if it doesn't right now, that's okay too. So anyways, I just really wanted to open up about my experience with that and let you all know that I am currently not going to the gym. I'm doing some at-home Pilates since I've been feeling better once in a while. But I'm not going to the gym right now because it's not mentally healthy for me. It's reminding me of those triggers since I'm in an emotional state, and I'm not going to go. And that's my choice. And I know I'm going to get some weird comments from that, but you know what? At the end of the day, that's the way I'm going to live my life and choose for me. And I hope you all do the same and that this has been helpful. Any questions, you can always email me at healthyeasysweet@gmail.com or shoot me a comment in the blog post. Bye, guys.